Hello, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from Delta CX, and a question I get a lot is, how do I research a UX bootcamp or program to know if it's good, if I should do it? Well, if you're interested in a bootcamp, you're going to need to research the school deeply, and you're going to need to research instructors, advisors, tutors, mentors, any person who would essentially be teaching you. Now, number one is avoid online reviews. It's good to Google the heck out of your school, search Twitter for people talking about your school, but some of the problems that I've heard is that some online reviews are either incentivized or the school has had bad reviews removed, so you're probably not necessarily going to get an honest balance. Also, again, research instructors, tutors, mentors, and advisors. Look them up on LinkedIn. Look at what their history is. Look for specialized UX work, especially in research, in information architecture, in interaction design. If you see somebody on LinkedIn and it looks like they're mostly UI or visual design or front-end developer, web developer, and they're going to be your UX teacher, and you're not really seeing a lot of UX work on their LinkedIn, they might not be fantastically qualified, and I see that a lot. So let's see, what else was I going to mention? So a lot of times when I go and research people's teachers, I see visual designers, and sometimes I ask people, well, tell me about your instructor at your boot camp. Oh, she's a really great designer. Oh, great. What's her design experience? 20 years as a creative director doing visual design. And I go, well, it sounds impressive for visual design, but what does she do in UX? And they go, oh. They hadn't thought to ask that. So again, it's why plumbing school is taught by master plumbers, not by electricians. I don't teach plumbing school. So you really want to make sure you're researching these people deeply, especially some of these like secondary people these schools sometimes give you, like an advisor, a tutor, a mentor. Very often, your advisor, tutor, mentor, and even sometimes your instructor are recent graduates of this boot camp, another boot camp, or a college or university degree. Be careful. You want to learn from people with extensive experience with real work, not just academics, and not just going to a boot camp and having graduated from a boot camp. You probably wanted to learn tennis from someone who'd been playing tennis for 10 years and had won a couple of local competitions. You did not want to learn tennis from the person who learned tennis 3 months ago. So remember that. Now, I've also seen some videos on YouTube where people will talk about their experience with YouTube boot camps. This is where you're going to need to put your critical thinking hat on and keep it on. Let's see, how did it look today? There we go. Would you please keep your critical thinking hat on for these? Because I watched one where this guy broke his school into different aspects, gave each aspect a rating, and then talked about it in detail. And he would give you the detail first, then the rating. And when he would give you the detail, I was like, oh man, this sounds terrible. He's going to give it a 2, he's going to give it a 3, he's going to give it a 4. And at the end of each description of what was so bad about this school, he would go, and I'd give it an 8. And I would just go, what? Based on what you just described, that's like 2, 3, 4 territory. I don't know why he was giving it these good scores, but the problem was that the people without their critical thinking hats on were leaving comments that were like, this school sounds great, thanks for the recommendation. And my thought was, did we just listen to the same video? Because my critical thinking hat is on, and I heard about a terrible school that this guy was unhappy with, and I don't know why he gave things 8s after telling you 6 reasons why he didn't like it. So maybe he wanted to be nice, but his nice could drive you in the wrong direction, so be very careful. Also, ask people who have graduated from these schools, talk to them privately, and be careful. Many of them will not tell people that they had a bad experience. They're embarrassed. They're embarrassed that they spent a lot of time and money and still don't feel ready for a job. They're embarrassed that they don't have a job yet. They're sometimes embarrassed that they're struggling. So do your best to be empathetic and listen to them and find out what's going on with their boot camp experience, especially the people who don't have jobs. It's very easy to find the 3 people who got jobs and they're going to go, wow, my boot camp was awesome. I learned the things. I got the job. Look at me. I'm a success. But that's not everybody's experience. Find the people who have not found the jobs, and now that they're out of the boot camp, 6 months, a year, Would they do the boot camp again? Do they realize now that maybe they didn't learn the right or wrong things? Are they suffering silently? I see a lot of them posting to LinkedIn, maybe UX isn't for me. It could be. We don't know. But we do know you might just not be ready for the job because of how little you've learned, because boot camps in general don't fulfill their promise or pseudo promise to get you ready for a job. So you've got to research them very carefully. And if you decide on none of them, I absolutely support you, because I believe nearly all of them are scams. So please research very carefully. On that note, please usability test the subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel here. Lots of content always coming out every week on CX and UX. And please empathize with the like button. Give it a nice tap and let the YouTube algorithm know that this is a good video to show to other people with some of the same interests, questions, and concerns that you have. Thanks, and see you in the next video.